It's an invisible art. It's an invisible industry. People just take it for granted.
I remember going down Beach Boulevard and seeing signs everywhere all of a sudden. You know, it was like this experience where like, oh my God, I know how to make a living now.
That's the only thing I could do, and I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to do and make a living.
This is a liner. So you have a thinner, it's for doing lines, obviously. You got your truck brushes, a little bit bigger. It seemed to work very well on trucks and not very well other places. It's badger hair, squirrel hair. It's kind of whatever you have on hand is what you use a lot of times. I was just doing art. I was doing some signs for some chicken coops and some garden signs and just different things. I was just trying to keep my hands busy, I guess. And just kind of need to figure out something to do that, you know, to pay the bills.
Far from weak, so far from love. Wait till after the storm with the same ass. Lace ribbons and creeks.
It's all right, I guess. I started working with One Shot about 8 years ago, but there's the Ronin company, which makes a variety of oil-based, water-based, Japan colors. And there's regular oil-based, regular latex. I mean, but I guess One Shot's the go-to paint for anything exterior, for myself anyway.
I don't use a maul stick. I've always been what's called pinky down. When I was in sign school, you had to learn with everything, and then whatever was comfortable for you, that's what you would work with. And sometimes I'll use a maul stick if I'm working where it's wet and I need to shadow, but otherwise I just go pinky down. When we're doing signs, we're making money for other people. And what I tell people when I'm selling them a sign is, you're gonna make more money on this sign than I ever will.
So I am Marjorie Garrison, and you're at my home in Echo Park, Los Angeles, California. My process varies really depending on who I'm working for, who the client is. I mean, maybe that's an obvious thing to say, but in some cases, I've totally taken the design process offsite, and it's something that I do on my own. I have always had a crush on graphic design, I would say. So I don't have a graphic design background, but I do think that the way that I come into projects and approach projects probably does, mirror graphic design in a way. I think that I've stepped into a trade that is so established, and historically, you spend years apprenticing before you ever go on site for a job. So, the way that I've gotten into sign painting is somewhat accidental, but now very intentional. There are so many tricks that would make sign painting easier. You pick that up by learning from, and working with people who have really done it for years, and I haven't had that opportunity yet. But I would love for that to happen at some point.
I'm Paul Lindahl, co-founder of Colossal Media.
I'm Adrian Moeller, co-founder of Colossal Media.
We're an all hand paint outdoor advertising company.
This is our shop in Brooklyn, New York.
training somebody to learn how to do this really takes about, 5 to 7 years to get somebody from the point of walking in the door and not knowing anything to knowing all the stuff in between and being able to, execute any project.
The sign is, I think, 50 feet, maybe a little taller, and then the wall is probably 70 feet.
A common misconception that we have a lot is that, oh, I'm a good artist, I could be good at that. They look up at the walls and they see that, oh, that's a great painting, I'm a great painter, it would be a good match, but they're not considering all the things that lead up to that final product that are so important.
All these guys call me the ox because I like to fucking pull the shit up.
You can't just get people in here that are gonna slug through stuff because we've spent so much time trying to establish ourselves as like a hands down, excellent company to work with. You put all that stuff on the line every time you show up to work, and we need to feel confident that the people that are out there, are going to town for the sake of themselves and the sake of the company and the sake of the people that are around them, It's a pretty big undertaking at the end of the day. It's more than just a job, for sure. A cool part about it, about being a painter, is that you can always grow as a painter, you can always get better as a painter. There is that, romance. There's not a whole lot of room for it because we got to get stuff done,